The courtroom smelled like old wood polish and desperation. My palms were slick against the handle of my cheap briefcase as I pushed open the heavy oak door. Every eye in the room turned toward me. There they sat, front row, center. Mom in her cream Chanel blazer, Dad in the navy suit he only wears for weddings and funerals, my brother scrolling his phone like this was just another boring Tuesday. They looked comfortable, like they'd already won. I was wearing the same gray suit I bought for my first real job interview 3 years earlier. Sleeves slightly too short, one button missing on the jacket. Mom's eyes flicked over me once. Then she leaned toward Dad and whispered something. He actually rolled his eyes, like I was a telemarketer interrupting dinner. Before we go any further, if you've ever been looked down on by the people who are supposed to love you the most, smash that like button right now. Drop a comment. Underrated by family, if that's you. And subscribe, because this story is about to get nuclear. The bailiff's voice cracked through the room like a whip. All rise. We stood. Judge Marilyn Hayes entered, late 60s, silver hair pulled tight, eyes that looked like they'd already seen every lie humans can tell. She sat. The room exhaled. I placed my 3 color-coded folders on the table in front of me and waited. To understand how we ended up in this freezing courtroom on a Thursday morning in October, you have to go back to the beginning, back to being the invisible child. My name is Alex. I'm 29 now, but growing up, I was always the other one. My older brother Ethan was the golden child, new Mustang convertible at 16. Private university, 0 student loans, down payment on a luxury condo at 24. Every time he failed a class, got a speeding ticket, or lost a job, Mom and Dad just wrote another check. I never got angry about it. I just adjusted. I learned early that nobody was coming to save me. While Ethan was getting his 3rd new iPhone, I was working graveyard shifts at a 24-hour grocery store, restocking shelves at 3 a.m. so I could afford community college tuition. I lived in a basement apartment with black mold in the corners and mice that ran across my textbooks at night. I transferred to State University on maximum loans, graduated with honors, and still owed 6 figures. But there was one person who saw me, Grandpa Harlan. He came to my associate's degree ceremony when my parents couldn't make it. He sat in the 3rd row wearing his ancient tweed jacket, clapping so hard his hands turned red. Every other Sunday, he took me to the same diner, same booth, same turkey melt, same chocolate milkshake. He asked about my classes. He listened, really listened. One afternoon, when I was 22 and feeling particularly crushed, he looked at me over his coffee and said, "Ethan's got charm, kid. You've got grit. Charm fades when the money runs out. Grit lasts forever." Then he leaned in closer. "Always keep records, Alex. Every receipt, every email, every text. You never know when proof is the only thing standing between you and ruin." I thought he was just being a paranoid old man. I had no idea he was preparing me for war. When Grandpa passed at 87, we gathered in the lawyer's office. The will reading felt clinical. Ethan got the lake house. Mom and Dad got the bulk of the investment portfolio, about $2.1 million total. And me? I got the education trust. It sounded small. Until the attorney explained Grandpa had funded it 22 years earlier, and it had been quietly compounding at 9 to 11% annually. My share, $1.24 million. More than the house and the investment accounts combined. Mom's face went the color of paper. Dad's jaw locked so hard I heard the teeth click. Ethan just stared at me like I'd cheated on a test. That's when the mask slipped. 2 weeks later, Mom called. Voice sweet as artificial sweetener. "We need to talk as a family, honey. Come to the house Saturday. It's important." I should have smelled the trap. But I went. When I walked into the dining room, they were all waiting. Mom, Dad, Ethan, and a stranger in a $3,000 gray suit. "This is Richard," Mom said, smiling like she was introducing me to a new boyfriend. "Our attorney." Richard slid a thick stack of papers across the polished mahogany. "Family Harmony Agreement," he called it. Translation: I sign over full control of my $1.24 million trust into a family management account. They invest it responsibly. I get a generous $2,000 monthly allowance from my own damn money. Mom reached across the table and patted my hand. "You've never been good with money, sweetheart." Her voice was syrup poured over broken glass. "We're just trying to protect you. This much money could ruin your life if you're not careful." Ethan leaned forward, smirking. "Don't be selfish, Alex. This is about keeping Grandpa's legacy together, as a family." I looked at Dad. His face had gone cold marble. "And if I say no?" Richard answered without blinking. "Then we do this the hard way. Probate court, conservatorship petition. It would be unfortunate, expensive, embarrassing for you." He let the word embarrassing hang in the air like smoke. I stood up slowly, picked up the unsigned agreement. "I've decided," I said. Then I walked out. 72 hours later, a process server knocked on my apartment door at 7:12 a.m., 14-page petition. They were asking the court to declare me financially incompetent, to appoint Mom as conservator over my assets for my own protection. Allegations, reckless spending, poor judgment, inability to handle complex finances. All lies, but notarized, filed, official. That same afternoon, my boss called me into her office. She slid a printout across the desk. Public records search. My name. The petition. "Is there something we should know?" I tried to explain. She looked pained. "We have to place you on paid administrative leave until this resolves. Policy." I walked out in a fog. My best friend called that night. "Just give them half, Alex. 600,000 is still life-changing. It's not worth destroying your family over." I almost listened. Almost. Then I opened Grandpa's binder, the thick black one he'd handed me 5 years earlier, with a cryptic smile. I flipped to page 12, section 7, subsection D. My heart slammed against my ribs. "Any beneficiary who initiates or participates in legal action to deprive another beneficiary of their designated share shall immediately forfeit their entire interest in this trust." And in the margin, in Grandpa's neat blue ink, "Keep this safe, kiddo. Trust, but verify." He knew. Somehow, he knew. I called my old study group friend Jake, who'd just passed the bar 3 months earlier. He came over at 10 p.m., read the clause, read it again, looked up at me with wide eyes. "This is enforceable. If they keep pushing, they lose everything. House, investments, all of it." I drafted a certified letter that night, 1 page, highlighted clause, 48-hour ultimatum. Sent copies to Mom, Dad, Ethan, and Richard at 6:04 a.m. They didn't withdraw, they doubled down. Next filing, amended petition. Now they claimed undue influence. Said Grandpa was mentally unsound when he created the trust, that I'd manipulated him. Attached. A shady affidavit from a doctor who'd seen Grandpa once, 4 years earlier, for a sinus infection. Patient displayed early signs of confusion. Then Ethan posted on Instagram. Old Christmas photo of Grandpa smiling. Caption: "Protecting his true wishes from those who would twist them. Family is forever." Comments exploded. High school acquaintances, distant cousins. "Always knew something was off with her. Money changes people. Prayers for your family." My phone vibrated nonstop. 2 days later, HR called again. "We're extending your leave, indefinitely. Court date, 1 week away." I hadn't slept properly in days, couldn't eat. Every time I opened social media, another knife, 3:47 a.m. kitchen table, 1 lamp, binder open. I started comparing documents. The amendment they submitted to the court, dated March 2019, claiming Grandpa wanted everything consolidated for family harmony. I laid it next to my original trust document. Dates didn't match. Notary seals didn't match. Paper felt wrong. I tracked down the original notary, retired, living in Tucson. Sent him the document number. He called back 47 minutes later. "I never notarized that. That's not my seal. Someone forged it." He overnighted a sworn affidavit. I spent $320 on a forensic document examiner. Report arrived 4 days later. Signature digitally traced. Paper stock manufactured in 2022. 3 years after the alleged signing date. Clear forgery. My family hadn't just tried to steal from me. They'd committed felony-level fraud. That's when I started digging deeper. Public records are terrifyingly easy to access. Ethan's disruptive tech startup dissolved 6 months earlier. Default judgment against him, 347,000 unpaid vendors. Parents' house, notice of default, 492,000 owed. 90 days or bank takes it. Dad's brokerage account, margin call, liquidated. Wiped out. Mom had been liking posts about debt consolidation for seniors and reverse mortgages. The math was brutal. Their combined trust shares, roughly 680,000. My share, 1.24 million. They were drowning. And they thought dragging me under would save them. I didn't want revenge. I wanted justice. And I knew exactly how to get it. I spent 3 all-nighters drafting. Counter petition for breach of fiduciary duty plus fraud. Motion to enforce forfeiture clause. Motion to freeze all trust disbursements pending hearing. Every citation triple-checked. At 11:43 p.m., I hit submit electronically. Confirmation email, attorney of record, Alexandra Marie Carter, Esquire. I'd passed the bar 6 months earlier. Night program. 4 years. 0 fanfare. Nobody knew. Not my family. Not my friends. I'd kept it secret because I didn't want the questions. Or the pressure. The night before the hearing, I didn't sleep. I didn't need to. I ran every argument in my head like a movie. Packed the briefcase, 3 folders, tabbed, perfect. Alarm at 5 a.m. Already dressed. Looked in the mirror. For the first time in weeks. I smiled. The courtroom door felt heavier than it should have. I pushed it open. They were all there. Mom whispered. Dad rolled his eyes again. Ethan smirked like he'd already won. I set the briefcase down. Opened the folders. All rise. Judge Hayes entered. She read the docket. Paused. Looked directly at me. Ms. Carter, are you represented by counsel? Or are you appearing pro se? I stood, voice steady. Your Honor, I am counsel of record, admitted to the bar January of this year. The room froze. Richard's face drained to gray. Mom's mouth opened, soundless. Ethan's smirk vanished like someone flipped a switch. Judge Hayes gave the smallest nod. Proceed, counselor. I opened folder 1. Exhibit A, Section 7, Subsection D of the trust instrument, the forfeiture clause. I handed copies up. Judge read, looked at Richard. Counselor, were you aware of this provision? Richard stammered. Your Honor, we were focused on... Were you aware? We recently became aware. Yes. Folder 2. Exhibit B, the so-called trust amendment submitted by petitioners. I projected it on the screen. Exhibit C, affidavit of the original notary, plus forensic document examination report. Side by side, forged signature, wrong paper stock, manufactured 3 years too late. Judge leaned forward, read the report slowly, looked at my parents. Do your clients have any explanation for this document? Dead silence. Richard tried. Your Honor, we'd like to request a continuance. Denied. Do your clients have an explanation? More silence. Judge set the report down, voice like steel. The petition for conservatorship is dismissed, with prejudice. The forfeiture clause is valid and will be enforced. Petitioners forfeit their entire interest in the trust. Sanctions in the amount of $18,000 are imposed for submission of a fraudulent document. This matter is referred to the District Attorney's Office for review of potential criminal fraud. Gavel. Crack. I closed the briefcase. Didn't look at them. Walked out. 30 days later, the trust was redistributed. Ethan lost the lake house. Mom and Dad lost the investment accounts. All assets flowed to Grandpa's secondary beneficiary designation, a scholarship fund for first-generation college students in our county. Grandpa had planned for betrayal. Even if they fought, the money would still do good. Ethan filed bankruptcy 2 months later. Last I heard, he's managing a big box store 2 towns over. Mom and Dad sold the house before the bank could foreclose. Moved into a 2-bedroom rental. Richard's firm quietly dropped them as clients. The DA reviewed the forgery. Declined criminal charges after my parents agreed to pay restitution plus court costs. I used $420,000 to endow the Harlan Carter First Gen Scholarship. First award ceremony last spring. 5 students, all of them working nights, just like I did. The rest? paid off every student loan, bought a small 2-bedroom condo, started my own estate and trust litigation practice, helping people who've been screwed by the ones who should have protected them. Family contact? Low. Supervised only. No holidays, no drop-ins. Mom sent one email 6 months later. "I'm sorry things got so complicated. I hope you're doing well." No real apology, no accountability. I replied, "Thank you. I wish you the best." That was it. Dad hasn't spoken to me since. I don't expect he ever will. I've made peace with that. Ethan texted once, asked if we could grab coffee. I wrote back, "Maybe one day, but not today. Not until I'm ready." Every morning, I see Grandpa's photo on my desk. Same Christmas picture Ethan weaponized on Instagram. But when I look at it now, I don't see the courtroom. I don't see the betrayal. I see the man who believed in me when no one else did. The man who taught me that love without respect is just control wearing a mask. I kept the receipts, just like he taught me. And because I did, I won. Not because I wanted revenge, but because I wanted my life back. So I'm asking you the same question I still ask myself. If someone you loved tried to destroy your future for their own comfort, would you forgive completely and let it go? Or would you hold the line and protect your peace? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this story gave you that electric rush of justice, smash the like button. Subscribe for more real-feeling revenge stories that actually happened. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. One last reminder. This is a dramatized narrative inspired by real events. It is not legal or financial advice. If you're facing something similar, get a licensed attorney in your jurisdiction immediately. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. You're stronger than you know. Keep your receipts. And never let anyone tell you your worth. See you in the next one.